Hello, guys, and welcome to Drumdog. Welcome to our first ever live stream event of Talking to the Big Dogs with the one and only Bernard Pretty Purdy, which we are just outrageously excited to be able to bring you guys this event. Hopefully, as you guys have already seen, we've got some amazing guests to come on that are going to say hi to Bernard and ask some of their own questions during this stream. And I think we may also be lucky enough to have a few extra special bonus guests, but we will see. So without further ado, we are incredibly excited to present the one and only Bernard Pretty Purdy. Mr. Purdy, we welcome you to our live stream, and we are so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. Are you hearing us nice and loud and clear over there?
Oh, yeah. I sure am.
Fantastic.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Amazing. So just before we get started and we introduce some of our extra special guests today, we'd love to ask you just a question from us and from myself. And I'd just love to ask, for someone who's played on so many amazing records over the years, have you ever found yourself listening to a track or a record that you've played on and maybe forgotten that, hey, that's your playing? Have you ever had that moment where you think, hey, this is a great song? Or do you just, if you've played on it, do you recognize it instantly?
Yes. It's always extra nice because I'm not basically listening to everything in the world, but it just so happens everywhere I go around the world, all of a sudden something comes on and I'll look, oh, that's me. And sure enough, it usually is. You know, it's just amazing because, like I said, I'm not really listening to see if it's me or checking this out, but it's just a wonderful feeling because there's so many songs in the world, but it's so nice to know that so many of the hit records of the world, I had a little influence on that. And it's nice.
And, your influence on those tracks have been thoroughly enjoyed by so many people, Mr. Purdy. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I will take this moment to introduce our first guest, and we will bring onto the stream a good friend of Drumdog, and without this guest, today would not have been possible at all. So a big welcome and thank you to Mr. Ralph Roll.
Hey, he's on the phone. Oh,
how are you doing, Ralph?
Wow.
Hey, Ralph, we can't hear you just yet. Are you muted? We got no sound.
Yeah, I was just on the phone with someone. I can't tell who it is yet, but they're coming on.
Hopefully, maybe something exciting for later.
Oh yeah, they're coming on in just a moment. I think Mr. Purdy is going to be very happy to say hello. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Yeah. So I need to tell you that one of the most exciting points. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So one of the most exciting, I can hear you fine. One of the most exciting moments was last year in August that I got a chance to finally meet Bernard Purdy at a barbecue. And I'd come from New York down to South Jersey, and I always wanted to meet this man. I mean, there's not a drummer in the world that I know that doesn't want to, that wants to meet this guy right here. He's the best person. So I come in the back and I have food in my hands, and he's sitting up on the deck with a bunch of other people. And when he stands up, I'm like, oh my God, that is actually Bernard Purdy standing up. So I walk over to him, and the man gives me a hug. And I mean, I've been doing this a long time, but I'm still a huge fan of every drummer. Every drummer that I know, I'm just huge fans from Dennis to Brian Dunn to, you know, my friends that I grew up with. I'm just fans of drummers. I hugged him and I just couldn't stop. I just cried and he understood. And there was like a moment there and I just stared at him like I'm talking to Bernard Purdie. And that was the first time I ever met him. It was a great moment. So I just want to thank him for coming out and coming to my show and just being such a gracious legend and person. He's a sweetheart and funny guy. So thank you so much. But Mr. Purdie, I have a question for you. Okay, so here's my question. At what age did you realize that drums was absolutely the thing that you wanted to do?
Very early. I was between 3 and 4 years old.
Wow.
And I heard the drums a block away. And I had my older brother to take me down to Bell's Lane so I could actually see what I heard, because I heard it. And he did. And
Wow.
I've been playing ever since.
Wow. From the age of 3.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Well, I was almost 4, but I was still 3, so you can't jump ahead. They won't let you.
Right. Well,
it was a wonderful feeling.
Well, I'm so glad that the drums bit you at such an early age, because you have inspired so many millions of players around the world, and so many people have danced to your grooves. I remember the day that my brother and I heard Rocksteady. I remember that day well, because we was screaming like you wouldn't believe. It was like, who in the world is that playing? We just lost it, because he was a drummer at the time. He's an engineer, but he introduced me to drums. And from that introduction, we just would find some of the best grooves from jazz and pop and R&B and listen to them. But you were definitely the one that inspired me to want to play, because your depth of field, your energy, your approach, and the way you hit a drum and made it sound. Any drum you hit and the way you made it sound was just amazing. You know, I don't care if they could have put 10 cans in front of you, you would have made that sound good too. So yeah, I wanted to know how when you first got the bug. So 3 years old, wow, that's amazing, man. Yeah.
Well, it definitely worked for me, because he became my teacher.
Wow.
For almost 10, 12 years.
Wow.
For at least 12 years.
Mm.
And I loved it because I still had to learn every kind of music there is and there was, because he not only was teaching in high school, but he was playing in a big band, 14-piece orchestra.
Wow.
Mr. Clyde Beswick's orchestra.
Wow.
So as I grew, I became a helper to him, to just being able to help anybody that needed it, because I learned things very, very quickly. I had to, because I wasn't allowed to speak, because I couldn't pay for the lesson. So you learn, and when they finally say something, I'm ready to say something. And I did make a mistake. I made a big mistake. And that mistake almost cost me my teacher.
Wow, what happened? What'd you do?
I spoke without permission.
Wow.
I spoke.
He was a rough one.
Rough is not the word. Rough. But he was lovable, but he was thorough. He didn't allow anybody to mess around, mess up. You know, either you're going to do it or you're not, or he'll tell them to leave.
Wow.
And I wasn't about to leave. Listen, I had no money. I didn't. And that's what happened. I did speak, and it was an accident because he was in the other room. And I was trying to help the guys. Listen, man, he's trying to say this, and that for you, but you got to listen to him, because if you don't, he's going to let you go. And sure enough, bam, he comes in the door. He said, out, out. And he made me stay out for 3 days. And I went to every one of his students and asked their parents if they would allow me to come back. And he did. So when I came back, I had another 10 years without until I was asked, Bugsy, play this. Just get up, play it. Now go sit down. But
wow,
there was so much more that went with that, because I became his helper. And I also became the one that followed him to all the gigs every Friday and Saturday night.
Wow.
And doing what was necessary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And the hard part is I could talk about him like anything that you could possibly think of. But he did say something that I never wanted to hear. He told me I was going to be a teacher. And I said, no, I'll never do that. I'll never teach. You say the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. I'll never be a teacher. 70 years later, I'm still teaching. It's hard.
Well, it seems to me that it seems to me that you've been teaching even when you weren't teaching. And I don't know if that's something you realized over the years, is that when anyone hears you, and this is something that someone said to me today, a very, very accomplished drummer, still listens to your grooves just to get some lessons. And you know this young man, his name is Charlie Drayton, who has played with everybody under the sun. So Charlie couldn't be here today, but he told me to say hello. He told me that he was listening to your stuff just recently, and he said a photo's going to pop up later with him with a shirt that you gave him. So when I was talking to him today, he said, make sure that Mr. Purdy sees this. So I'm going to make sure that you see that. But there's a movie called Whiplash, and what you're saying kind of reminds me of your experience with this teacher that you had. I've never watched Whiplash because it was too much anxiety. Yeah, it's just a hard thing to see. You have a teacher that's so hard and someone that's young, but it garners sometimes great results. So as you see with you, but that's not my technique for teaching at all.
Well, mine had to stop. I tried my best not to be exactly like him, but I'm pretty darn close. Simply because if you don't want to learn, don't come to me. It's that simple. Hey, you go ahead and do what you need to do for yourself. But don't come and ask me to help.
Right.
And you got all these other things to say and do. No. Don't waste my time. Because somebody wants that time.
Got you.
And I'm very, very thankful that, yes, I got it. And everybody else, it's working. It really is. So Thank you, Mr. Hayward. All right.
So I'm waiting for Nick to come back on. There he is.
Hey guys, how are we all doing? How are we all
Fine.
doing?
We was chatting away.
Hey Ralph, thank you so much for joining us on the stream. It's been a true pleasure. And like I said, this couldn't have happened without you. So us at Drum Dog, we cannot thank you enough. And thank you for being a big part of this.
Well, it was my pleasure. It's been an honor to work with Mr. Purdy. We're actually producing a documentary on him that we started filming during the summer. Wow. So there's a lot of exciting stuff going on with him, and it's just an honor for me every day to just be in his presence. So thank you.
Amazing. Hey, thank you, Ralph. Thank you for everything. And I think we are ready to introduce our second guest, and we are super excited to bring to the live stream Miss Nandi Bushell. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have you on the stream.
Thank you. How are you?
Yes. I'm fine. I really am.
Great.
It's a pleasure looking at you and hearing you.
It's an honor to meet you.
And I told you I'd be very glad to meet you at any time. You really have inspired me to have somebody, especially your age, youth, that really has it together. This is a nice feeling.
It's an honor to meet you too, because when I was younger, I'd always look at your videos.
Okay.
The Purdy Shuffle, which was a beat I play all the time. So it's really amazing to meet you. So
Okay,
the first question. When you first started playing, how would you go about learning your songs?
well, that part is a little bit easy. It's not so much worrying about what you have to do, but it's the listening to it to make everything back to you. The simplicity of it is knowing how to read the music and how to interpret. Now, reading it is one thing, but interpreting is entirely different because it comes from feel within yourself. And it becomes a very personal attitude, but make sure that it's positive. The Purdy Shuffle is feel. It is sound. It's a relaxed situation. And everything, knowing the notes is half the battle, but how you place them is what is going to make you extra special. And you're doing very, very well. And as you grow with it, you're going to love to learn it. You're going to love to feel good about yourself. Guaranteed. And the Purdy Shuffle will be with you the rest of your life because there's so many songs that have the Purdy Shuffle to it. So you don't have to worry about not being able to do it because you will be able to do it because you have the incentive and you got the knowledge and your father has stayed on you, and that's a beautiful feeling because he realized that you definitely have it. And the best of everything to you.
Thank you. I have one more question. I think that you're the most recorded drummer. So you played on lots of tracks. So what's been your favorite track to perform on?
Oh boy. Now you're going to get me in trouble because it's so hard to tell everybody what my favorite track is. It's not easy, but yet it is. Now, I play safe because there's so many songs, so many things out there. Now, one of my all-time favorite tracks is with Steely Dan. When I turn around, the next thing, my most favorite person to play with becomes Aretha Franklin. So everybody has a spot. But Steely Dan, they asked me when we were talking about the song, and I told them that I would the Purdie Shuffle. And the first, oh no, we don't want to shuffle. We don't want this. We don't want that. They finished saying what they had to say. I says, you haven't heard it. Give it a listen. And the Purdie Shuffle, for their track, takes me home. Home at last. When they're home at last, hey, there it is. It's a gold thing for them. Golden for me because I use it a lot. People ask me about it, and I tell people, I said, well, home at last, feel the attitude of being at home. Aretha Franklin, when I have done all of her work, puts me on top of the world because everybody wants to hear her voice and the songs that I play with them. It's everybody has their own thing, but yet I was able to give each and every one of the 2,500 different artists what they asked for. So there's over 4,000 albums that you're going to hear it on. So it makes me feel good. Because when you want to pick out more songs, you got plenty to choose from. And congratulations to you for learning the Purdie Shuffle.
Thank you. So you've done 2,500 records. That's incredible. That's a crazy amount. So you've done 2,500.
Well, thank you very much.
What's your proudest achievement?
I think that's probably what it comes down to. My part of what I remembered and what I had to do when I wrote about it. Because there were so many different artists that I played with over the last years, but 70 plus years of playing with other musicians and other artists around the world. Everything worked for me. But being able to say that, yes, it's that many artists because it was simple, because the ones who paid me had them in my diary. So it was easy to go back and let people know the people that I played with over the past 70 plus years. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So, yes, you picked out a couple of the biggest and the best, but there's so many others that I've helped along the way. And I'll be very glad to help you anytime. You are a wonderful, wonderful player. Just keep focused the way you are.
Thank you. So one more question.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're in love with drumming. So when did you know that you fell in love with the drums? What's been your inspiration? Like, when did you know this was for you?
I knew that by the age of between 3 and 4 years old, when I heard the drums in my hometown in Elkton, Maryland, and went down to Bells Lane, listened, and I heard Mr. Haywood teaching somebody else. And I was 3 years old, almost 4, but I was still 3, and picked it up from there. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I knew that's what I was going to be doing because I had to learn it. And I did. He was teaching me all those years.
What an amazing age to know that was really the thing for you, Bernard. That's phenomenal. Hey, this has been amazing to hear you guys just chat and some amazing questions there, Nandy. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's brilliant to hear two, completely different generations just talk about drumming, and just that mutual respect is really something special, I think. So thank you so much, Nandy, for joining us today. It has been extra special to have you on the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. But I think now we are ready to move on to our next special guest. And our next guest is a really good friend of Drum Dog, and recent presenter of the Amazing Art of Drumming series on Sky. And that is the amazing drum educator, Steve White.
All right, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Thank you for joining us today.
You sound good.
Absolute pleasure, absolute privilege. I met you many years ago, Mr. Purdy, at the Jazz Cafe in London, and you gave some wonderful advice to a very young drummer at the time, which I wanted to thank you for. It's so lovely to hear the enthusiasm in your voice and the support that you in terms of talking to Nandy and all these great questions. So it's a couple of questions, but just a thank you for everything that you've done for the instrument, for the inspiration, for the pocket, for the lessons, the education that you've given us all. I do have two small questions though. I'd love to know your thoughts about bass players. You've played with some amazing bass players. Who would be your favorite bass players that you've worked with in your illustrious career?
Wow. You're wonderful. It's marvelous. And here again, I play safe when I have to say about the bass players that have really helped me over the past 70 plus years. But the one who stands out the most happens to be Chuck Rainey. Now, the first bass player, Al Lucas, who's with James Brown, is who I got to know first. But the point is that what happened with Chuck and I, we became one. After so many years of working with so many different bass players. Now, the bass player that came before them, his name was Bob Bushnell. And when I heard the young lady's name, Bushnell, I said, oh, no, that can't be the same family. But the point is that is what happens. The bass player is the one who keeps me in the loop, in control of what has to be done. Don't ever forget, as a drummer, your job is to satisfy everybody in that band. Everybody. But the bass player is who you got to depend on to keep you motivated, to keep the feel going, and to give you the best attitude that you can possibly have. You stick with the bass player, you will always be right. And you will always have a job. Guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. That's fantastic. Can I just ask one quick question? With all your amazing achievements and your incredible career, and as I say, you are one of the drummers that I listen to every day for inspiration. So many great tracks. If you could give all our younger viewers and participants one piece of advice, what would it be to all these upcoming drummers in this crazy world of the internet and everything? What would be Bernard's one piece of advice?
Well, my best advice that I can give, especially for drummers, if you want to know what you have to do and you want to stay focused in the band, you got to love the bass player. Anybody else can come secondary, can be 10 ones down, doesn't matter. But you and the bass have to come together to make everything work in that band. I don't care if it's a trio or if it's an orchestra, it doesn't matter. But you and the bass player have to work as one. And when you've done that, I guarantee you never have to worry about working again because everybody's going to know that you became good because of the bass player. Because without the bass, who's going to support you? Who's going to give you what you need? And that's where it's going to come from. And just, you're the band leader. You're always the band leader when you're not the band leader. But to do that, you need the bass to keep you focused at all times. So don't let that ever get out that you and the bass player are not together. And I guarantee you, the next thing that happens in that band, you're gone. They're going to find somebody else.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed. I'm sorry. Without the bass, you and the bass, that's the only way to keep a band together. And you can stay in that band for years. For years. And you can join anybody else you want. Doesn't matter. But that's your job. And you got to remember, it's a job. It's your job to keep the band focused, to keep the band happening, to make sure that you and the bass are one.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And I really hope we can see you back in London very, very soon. You've got a lot of fans here.
Well, we are looking forward to coming because we're working on something right now. And I'm thanking everybody because I used to love to come over to, I was coming over on a regular basis many years ago, but I would love to come back because I also taught over there in some of the colleges. And it's a nice feeling.
It's a big welcome waiting for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Steve. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and we hope to see you again soon. Some brilliant questions there.
See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Right.
Now, we have a bit of a special announcement right now. We are going off board and we have a last minute addition to the stream. We have another Steve, and we have none other but the Steve Gadd himself on to hopefully ask.
Oh my God.
Hey, brilliant. You're live with us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, nice to see you guys. I just, I just wanted to come on and tell Bernard, how much I love him, and to, how much I've learned from you, and how much joy and pleasure I got from listening to your grooves. And I just wanted to say thank you, because the music that I listened to before is
Oh.
still the music I go to now, man. And you're always there. So I just wanted to say that and tell you how much I love you, man. So thank you.
Oh,
Thank-
just thank you. And I love you. I have, it's it's just a wonderful feeling, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm not the greatest at this new technology, Bernard, but anyway,
It's
I
all right.
love you, man. I love you, and I just wanted to say hello and see your face. So thank you.
No, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think we are ready for our next special guest to come on and have a chat with Mr. Purdy. And this is another bonus that we've been lucky enough to add into the stream today. And I think we are ready to bring on live Mr. Brian Dunn. Hi, Brian. How are you doing today?
How you doing, man?
Oh,
Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Great to be here, man. Amazing. Mr. Purdy. Oh,
all
my
right,
God.
Brian. All right. Yes, sir.
How are you, man?
You're looking good.
Thank
You're
you.
looking good. Good.
You too.
Very good.
Nice.
Feeling,
So I have a question.
I'm very happy, man. Very happy.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
It's always good to see you. It's always good to see you. You are literally, I was going to say you're a national treasure. You're an international treasure, period. Like crazy.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I've been playing for 15 years with Daryl Hall and John Oates, giving them a really poor B version of the things you've already done with them. So my question is, when you recorded She's Gone, a song that we have to play every time we perform, I'm pretty sure Arif Martin was the producer at that point. So my question to you is, when you guys were working on that track, did Arif and you collectively come up with the main pocket of the song, or did you just come up with the pocket and Arif kind of directed everybody, or was John and Daryl involved? So I'll leave it at that. What do you have to say about that?
Let me put it to you this way. That young man, he is the arranger. He is the producer, and he's everything that has to be. But when we did the song, it was everybody. It was everybody. When that came down the pike, nobody thought that they could do a ballad. And when we got into it and did it, yes, I helped because I gave them a little bit. It wasn't quite the Purdy Shuffle, but it was so close. It was so close. The feel of it. That everybody, this is a ballad, but this is funky. It's a ballad, but it's R&B. It's a ballad, but it's, everything was being said. And I agreed, and I just did this. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to take this another step further. And that's all. Because I played with this man with so many records and stuff before. Because I was a regular at Atlantic Records because of King Curtis. So mine was so easy. And having these guys, I loved what they were doing because they were fresh and such and such. And they listened. Everybody don't always listen in the beginning. Somebody is always stepping up to the plate. That's fine. When you're the artist, you want what you want when you want it. But we got to give it to you when it's time to give it to you at the time. That's all. So the little extra things that we do is because we can take some liberty when you have people like Arif Martin who he can write it out. If he wanted to write it all out, he could do just that and give you exactly what we did. But he didn't have to. And the beauty of it is just, here it is. And that was the whole album. That whole album was done the same way, the rest of the album. And that's why it's still going strong today. That's almost 50 years ago. It's almost incredible. 50 years ago, man. Those kind of songs only come around once in a lifetime. You know, we all think about, oh man, there's another Hall of Notes. There's lots of Hall of Notes. But this was done almost 50 years ago, man, and it's so strong. It's a feel, it's an attitude, and it's a very positive attitude. And I just want to say, for you being able to hold on to your own feelings and thoughts when you have to do it, because I love it, because it always sounds just like we did it. It always sounds. And you didn't complain about having to do it because you can twist and turn and do whatever you want because you're that good. That's the difference. You're always going to give it your own little thing. And that's wonderful. That's why I get so happy. When I watch what some of the drummers have done, and you know, like even same problem, Steely Dan. All the other drummers that had to play with Steely Dan had to play me and play the records to get the job. But it took them a while to put their little spin on it. But when they finally did, then they finally says, thank you, Purdy, because I did not, I don't have to. You end up getting your own little thing. That's all. And that's the beauty of it.
Yep. Great. Well, I want to say thank you, Purdy.
And the feeling. No, it's my plasma, really. Because I have watched you play it. I have watched you play it, and I loved it. You know,
thank you.
And that's why, you know, the guys who do and show their thoughts about me. I mean, the same Steve Gadd, when he comes in to do something. Steve got the whole world trying to play his stuff when he does his little thing, and it's all him. We all have that little gift, but you're smart enough to utilize it with the bass player. No matter what, you and the bass player are going to kill it. I love it. I love it. Man.
Amen.
And congratulations.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, I would like to just say one other thing.
No, thank you.
So listen, there's a song.
Thank you.
There's one other thing I wanted to just say. You know, you're so relaxed when you play, but one of the things that I always personally, for me, that is fascinating to me, and where I love your playing so much, is it's relaxed, but it has such a beautiful forward momentum while being relaxed. When I hear tracks like Daydreaming, oh my God, no matter how many years I practice and play, to capture what you captured on like a song like Daydreaming is otherworldly as far as I'm concerned. So thank you for the life. My life continues studying.
Thank you very much. And that came from Jamaica. When I had that, I had been in Jamaica and brought that back with me to Aretha and so many different artists, because they taught me how to do that kind of reggae when there's 5 people doing what one drummer had to learn. I had to learn 5 different parts and make it work. And I did. And thank you for
amazing. Thank you so much, Brian.
you.
Some brilliant questions there. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for joining us last minute. A true pleasure.
Thank you guys. And thank you, Ralph Roll. See you guys.
No, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. So I think we're ready to bring on our next special guest. And our next special guest is an extra special one for me, a true inspiration for so many other drummers as well. We are very excited to bring on the one and only Dennis Chambers. Dennis, thank you so much for joining us today. What a stunning setting you're in there as well.
Oh yeah. I'm in my drum room here. Hey, brother Bernard.
Oh,
or should I say, Daddy Bernard?
Yes, sir. Oh, I love
Back
it,
to you, my man. Back to you. It's good seeing you today.
Oh boy. This is wonderful. Thank you. Good seeing you and all these surprises. Oh, that.
Well, it's all over love, man. We love you. We love you, man. We love you.
Thank you, and I love you. I love all you guys, man. Because that not knowing who he was getting.
Okay, sis. So what you want me to do?
Thank you.
You're welcome, my man. You're welcome.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey, you know,
I got good.
Well, thank you. You look well yourself. You look great. Hey, you know, I have some questions. You know, about you in Baltimore or Maryland. Who did you listen to back here at that time? And also, I have to add to. I'm not sure if a lot of people know about your history in the '60s, in the '60s and the '50s actually. You did a recording for Dee Dee Warwick. No. Yeah, Dee Dee Warwick.
Yeah.
And the song was called "Foolish Fool." And
Right.
as I understand it, Led Zeppelin had copied, or that was the template of their sound. And also, I know John Bonham actually, you know, he idolized you as well. And he listened to everything you did actually. And I just want to know, you know, two things, which is, what were you thinking about when you recorded on Dee Dee's record, and also who were you listening to around here in Baltimore or in Maryland?
In Baltimore, there was several. Pernell Rice.
Pernell
was the drummer in Baltimore. Yes,
I remember Pernell.
And that's the only person. Oh, but I've never seen anybody like him. And what he loved to do was he loved to play in the clubs where the dancers. That's where dancers got their energy and stuff from the drums.
Right.
He could play and then do all this extra stuff, and they dance to the drummer. And I used to watch him, and I couldn't believe it. I was in Morgan State, and at night I would be going over to watch him perform in the club. But it was such beauty to watch him. And he'd be smiling and grinning from ear to ear. That's why I never lost my smile. I never did. But I loved what he was doing. I just did. And I would hear it, feel it, give it a positive attitude, and stay there. and Dionne Warwick and her Dionne Warwick also doing things with her as well as doing Warwick. The other, that was her niece, nephew, niece.
Niece.
What do
What's
you
her
call them? Yeah. But that was a family thing because they used to do background with Sissy Houston.
Yeah.
That was part of their family.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah.
they were we were in Atlantic all the time. And she wanted to do this record, and the guy Bang started his own label. And the first thing she said, "Well, I want Purdy." I said, "Okay." And I had a ball. Because the man that owned the label, he said, "Okay, you got it." And we just go in and we would just record. And her niece and all that, they'd come in and do background for her.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Dionne Warwick, the same thing. But I didn't get a chance to do the records with Dionne. I was so upset. But the young man who did it, he was the contractor for the man. So hey, that's your job.
Yeah, but you can't
But
be everywhere. You can't be everywhere, Bernard. You were doing all this other stuff in New York. You were cutting everything with your neck in New York. and also being in Europe. And I know you were huge in Europe.
Oh my heaven, boy. I was in another world, man. I was in another world. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it because I didn't know that I was going to be a teacher. Because Mr. Haywood, this man put this in my head and kept telling me I was going to be a teacher. And I said, I can't do it. Because you say the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. And then he said, yeah. But I couldn't stand for something simple to go wrong or for somebody not doing it. Because I watched everybody. I watched every drummer that came along. Anybody that played drums and they said they played drums, I could watch them.
Right.
I used to co-watch you anytime. I loved it. Yeah. And you excited me. You had your seat, you had your structure, and you look good. You look good doing it. And for me, I had to take all these little things from that. I got a little bit of everybody from the workings of watching everybody else do their things. And when I like something, I'd emulate you in a minute. And oh boy, you just so relaxed. Steve, so relaxed. When you guys sit and play and did your thing, and you do this, we all do the same thing. We sing the songs.
Yeah.
We know exactly what's going to be. We not just play the song, we sing the song because that's what you're playing. You put something in, somebody didn't do something over there, and you can stick it in the next time down and get your trademark in. That's how we used to get that little extra something out of the recordings and making those records. Oh boy, look. Thank you. Oh man, you make me feel so good. I'm so glad he didn't tell me because I'd have been so upset.
Oh man,
thank you.
You know how I feel about you, man. I love you to death. I learned so much by listening to you. I learned how to play the hi-hat.
my thing, you know what mine was always a hi-hat because I couldn't stand all the different cymbals because they overtone.
Right.
So I had to learn how to play a cymbal, big cymbal, and get the undertone. So I had to hit it differently. And I watch you how you hit it. And you pull that wrist around. Yes. I learned that from you. Quick.
It's what we call finesse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the beauty of it, man, you know, and everything around you works. Everything. You only put to. You don't have to worry about overplaying any. You just have fun. And when you must stick something in, you stick it in and keep on going. And everybody, what was that? Oh, now it's gone.
Right.
Your control, man. Your control. When you're in control of everything, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, I basically learned from you is just, you know, let the music play itself. You just go for the ride.
Go for the ride. Go for the ride. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is exciting. This is so exciting, man.
Dennis,
guys, thank you.
Sorry, go on, Dennis.
I don't know what else to say.
No, I was about to ask, where are you now, Bernard? Are you at home?
Thank you. Oh, did I lose?
No, he said, "Oh, you're at home."
Huh?
He's asking, where are we?
Oh no, he's still. I can still hear.
No, I was asking you, where are you? Are you at home?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm at home.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh boy.
Dennis, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been nothing short of an absolute honor to have you on the channel. And it's just brilliant to just sit back and hear you guys chat. I could do it forever.
You know, like I said before, I mean, that's my man right there. And I've learned so much. He's the teacher. And, you know, I mean, whatever he plays on, I go and grab it and try to, you know, get something from it. And I do get a lot from it. You know, the way he feels, the way he looked, the way he dressed, the way he presents himself behind the instrument. It's all there. He's a class A act or class A musician. I love him to death. Except for, you know, he almost got me fired once with Maceo Parker. He came to the gig or came to the sound check.
Oh.
And I got a picture of it. I'm trying to listen to Maceo explain something, and Bernard's telling me the most dirtiest jokes ever.
Oh gosh.
And I'm laughing. I'm laughing, and you know, Maceo's looking at me like, you know, what's so funny, you know? Bernard's back there cracking me up.
Yeah,
love you, man. I love you to death.
Okay.
Well, thank you, thank Ralph, Mr. Ralph Roll, and thank you, Bernard. Thank you for being so special to us in our lives, man. Thank you for being on this planet,
man. Oh, thank you for allowing me to be. Wow. Peace and
amazing,
love,
amazing.
Oh, boy.
Thank you again, Dennis. Thank you again. So without further ado, our next and final special guest for this evening has an amazing list of credits with the likes of Luther Vandross and Stevie Wonder, Grover Washington and Dizzy Gillespie. I could go on, but anyway, we are very excited to bring on Buddy Williams.
Mr. Purdy.
Buddy!
Mr. Purdy. Mr. Purdy. I love you, sir. You know it.
Lord have mercy.
We'll both be crying on here, so I
Yes,
won't cry if
sir.
you don't cry, because you know
Oh.
me and you go way back. Since I was in high school, music and
I
art,
know.
come to the Apollo to rehearse in the basement, and Pete Long would let us sneak upstairs and come to the sound check, and I saw you play with Don. I don't want to tell everybody, IRS might come get you, but Donnie, Dada, you know, all of that. Roberta, thank you, Mr. Purdy. Like Dennis said, you gave it to us. You gave it to us. All of my questions have been asked, but you know, I know them questions because my grandma's from where you from, down in that part of Maryland that nobody knows about. But I want to know, thanks, Purdy, you know. Let me say this because I even wrote it down so I wouldn't mess up. Your one of your first recordings, your first session, or like, you know, recording for somebody and getting paid for it in New York when you came from down yonder there. I heard it was from Big Buddy, of all names, Big Buddy Lucas. My grandmother is a Lucas, and she said, you know, do you know Bernard? Yes, my grandmother is a Lucas. I'm sorry, Bernard. Told you we're family. And yeah. And she said that he gave you your first shot. And then is your first recording Just One Look?
Yes, it is.
And I she told me that. She told me that Just One Look. Bernard is on. Your friend Bernard is on that song. I'm gonna be quiet now. Come on. Tell them people this. Tell them about that, please.
You know what though? You know what the funny part is that I had done before that. I actually had done what's oh God, 1 week earlier, and then I had to go get it. I went to the laundry. I stopped working at the laundry, and I get after the job, get after everything that was done, and then I'd go on 50th Street and then ask them for work. And the contractor came along and talking about he's looking for a drummer. No drummer was around, none of them. And I said, well, I'm a drummer, I'm a drummer, I'm a drummer. And I followed him from club to club, or bar to bar. And then he went around to 52nd Street and went downstairs to the recording studio down there. And sure enough, that was there. That was who was there. They didn't have a drummer. I had Bob Bushnell was on the bass, Ernie Hayes, piano, the guitars. Oh my God. He was also a teacher. I'll think of his name in a second. But the point was, nobody. They were inside in the control room arguing about, what do you mean there was no drummers? There was no drummers, just that and the other. And everything. So I went over, sat down at the drums, and we started playing. They started to play, and the next thing that happened, we were playing. They were inside arguing, and then the engineer turned the button, pushed the button on, and we were doing the song. And they turned around and totally freaked out. We did that. We stayed there, finished it, and then went back and said, well, what was that you guys were doing? She said, we're doing her song. Bam! Push the button. Next tape. The real tape, because they hadn't pushed the button. That's what we one tape when they pushed the button.
Man. Beautiful.
And it was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely, man. It was
Beautiful,
just the
brother.
4 of us. And we did that song. And this was a week later after working with Mickey and Sylvia.
Yeah.
Mickey Baker, yeah, doing their record. Yeah. I was like, it was amazing because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anyone whatsoever. And, you know, like, it was just there. And
Beautiful, man.
you said a mouthful, didn't man? That was it.
It's me, bro. You know, I know you. I grew up with you
Buddy,
every day.
but
Thank you, man. You
no,
know.
well, thank
know.
you because you were
I
always
learned.
there, available, helpful, and doing things. I would give a job to you, whatever. Because
Yes, you
I
did.
couldn't be in the,
Tell the world.
listen,
Tell the world.
man.
I said, Purdy sent me. Purdy sent me. He said, buddy, just go down there and tell him Purdy sent you. I'd come in, bell sound. I could name the different places and to because you was stuck in all one time and you was in one room and there was a thing in the other room. You said, just go in there. Go in there. Yep. I remember the big sign you used to have in front of the bass drum. I know I'm telling on you. And you would
Okay.
advertising and marketing, but you know you had to do that back in the day.
That's
And
right.
like Steve said,
That's exactly.
we all would come and just stand there and listen to you and absorb. Like Dennis said, you know, certain things you would do, like you explained earlier about the tom-tom being on the right and the left instead of the left and the right. But that was your personal touch. When I subbed for you at Hair, I didn't worry about it. I just sat down, played what you played because you had to go to Europe or whatever it was. I appreciate you, sir, because I wouldn't be here without you.
Oh man, you always, not
Thank
only
you,
that,
brother.
but you're always on time. You did the job, no matter what it was and how it was. That's the beauty. That's why we've lasted so long for so many years. We didn't
Yes,
go
sir.
about cutting anybody's throat. We just go do the job. When you
Yeah.
recommend somebody to do a job, that's your credibility of how good you are about doing something.
Amen.
It's that simple.
Amen.
You always
sir.
did the job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I
sir.
love you for it, man.
Love you. Love you,
for it.
brother. Love you.
And I
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
I love you for stepping in and doing what was necessary, and the family and oh
Yes,
gosh.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
we
Thank you.
all had family at that time.
Amen. Amen. That little young lady that we just heard and enjoyed, her name is Nandi. My oldest girl's daughter is named Nandi.
Wow.
When I played with Hugh Masekela, that's a name from South Africa. It's a flower that grows in the desert. They don't know how it grows, and it's a beautiful flower, and it comes up, and it's called the Nandi. And Nandi was the queen of South Africa. She was Shaka Zulu's mama. It's a history lesson, but that name is very, like one of our African queens' name is Nandi. You know what I mean? My other daughter's name is Makita.
Wow.
She was the queen of the Ethiopians, but Nandi, that name, that's my daughter's name. I told Ralph that this morning. I said, my daughter's name is Nandi, but look at how she adapt and did her thing. And look, she's bloomed into a beautiful flower, all because of the teachings of you, my brother. Just checked you out, and you know how they absorb. And now they got the YouTube and the videos and the stuff to absorb, and she just went right to it. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
No,
thank you.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bernard.
Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, the feeling is
love you, man.
Mutual,
love you.
mutual,
love
man.
you. Love you.
Love
you and Chuck. You and Chuck took care of me all of life. You and Chuck. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna get out the way. I'm gonna start crying.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Hey, thanks to you, buddy. Okay. Big thanks to you for joining us today. It's been fantastic to hear you guys talk and reminisce. Man. It's been a true pleasure, and hopefully for the viewers as well are feeling the same way. It was really something special. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Oh, this has been a blessed day. This has been a blessed day. Oh boy.
Bernard, this has just been an amazing live stream. We feel so blessed to have you on, and it's brilliant just to hear you talk to all of these other people and answer these questions so well. And but I'll tell you what, I do know that we have a fantastic sounding drum kit behind you there, as I heard in sound check. Am I right?
Yes.
And we would love to hear you play it a little today on this stream. So I think now we're going to take a few moments. We're just going to have a little ad break, and then we would just love to hear you play that drum kit, Bernard, if that sounds okay to you.
That sounds fine to me. You have inspired me by the people that these are love. This is all love. And I'll just play and have fun. That's all.
That sounds great.
I'm just going to play a little bit and enjoy myself. Oh boy!
I can't wait already. So yeah, thank you so much, and a big thank you to everyone who's joining us today on this live stream. We couldn't have done this without you guys here to enjoy it with us. So we are just going to take a few moments for a quick little ad break before we bring back Bernard for a little bit of extra special playing.
Welcome to Drum Dog. Our YouTube channel has a huge library of videos with gear reviews, interviews and performances, and of course, expert drum lessons. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel while you're here. If you want to dive a little deeper into our drum lessons, head over to our website, drum.dog. Here we have a collection of detailed lesson packs from ourselves and also some special guests. And be sure to stay tuned as we have some very special guests coming on in the future for lesson packs and workshops. Drum.dog. Come and be part of the community.
So that is a little bit of what we do over at Drum Dog. And as I mentioned earlier, we're actually running a special promotion for today's live stream, and that is 50% off all of our lesson packs over on the website. So if that is the kind of thing that you'd be interested in and want to check out, then head over to our site, which is just drum.dog. We've got some amazing guest lesson packs on there as well, as with Ralph Roll that we saw a little sample of earlier, and we had on to ask Bernard some questions, as well as a few other guests and upcoming lesson packs, which we are very excited to announce. Now, to bring today's live stream to you guys has been nothing other than an ultimate pleasure and something that really we couldn't have dreamed of until recently. And we feel really lucky to be able to do this. This is a completely free event, which we're just so lucky to be able to do. But if you do want to just give a little bit to support Bernard and say your thanks for all he's done for drumming, then you can head over to the link, which is on the QR code here, or you can head directly to the website, which is drum.dog/donate/Bernard-Purdy-live, which I'm hoping someone will throw in the comments at some point, because that's a really long web address, isn't it? The QR code is probably the winner there. We are really excited to hear Bernard playing any minute now. And we're hoping that maybe he has made his way over to the drum kit. How are we looking on drum cam, Mr. Purdy?
Huh?
I hear drums.
It dropped. It dropped? I dropped something? No, I heard him talking. Oh.
Hey, Bernard, how are you doing? Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah. I hear you fine.
Fantastic, fantastic. We just want to extend our thanks to you again for just being a part of this today and being up for doing it. It's been an ultimate pleasure to hear you talk, and thank you again from the bottom of our hearts.
Oh man, thank you. What you guys have done. You have changed my life. You brought me back to reality of the people that I have known for over 50 years. And they all were there same time, man. The same time. Wow. Man, oh man. Oh boy.
Just amazing. Just amazing. So if it's okay with you, we are going to say thank you. And I think we are going to sign off the stream with just a little bit of your playing in whatever you'd like to bless us with, Mr. Purdy.
Oh, okay. I don't. Oh my God. Well, then I'm going to start off. I'm going to keep it simple, keep it very, very easy, and then I'll take you around a little bit and just show you how some of the stuff I've done. Because this is the tempo. This is how I practice. This is my tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh! Oh! Take you on a little journey, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to start you off how I practice what I preach. Time. I take so I can build up to it, where I can have everything I do. Is everything. It's a relaxed thing. And when you don't want to do anything but have fun, you gotta remember. The hi-hat is your lifeblood. You can do anything you want. Hey.